Hello, what's going on? Um, Welcome to your reading with your friend Jesse. I said that. So I'm trying to find my list. Um, Hold on one second. So anyways, yeah, so basically like as I'm doing this, I just want to say that the majority I've been doing this for like the last like few weeks, and I found it to be very, 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 very positive for the quality of my readings. So basically, I have been I just go off camera essentially is the easiest way of saying it. Not the whole time. Usually I kind of just like meditate, kind of just like stay in a state of like trance of just like kind of like being mellow. And then like I'll have like all my crystals and like all whatever. I have a ton of these stuff going like laying around. And yeah, I found that it gives me better readings. So I'll just like present the chart and yeah, I always used to do like I find that when I do these types of readings, like where like I'm only showing my face when I want to show my face, I'm only speaking to the camera when I want to do it, and I'm able to kind of like lay back and just chill. It enables me to get more in touch with my intuition, my third eye, and to have those channels even more open than they already are. Um, so just letting you know that I'm gonna like the good start of the reading. People don't see my face much, and then I usually pop up more. But it's every reading's different. So, anyways, let's see. Um, it's okay. So here's a chart. Let's get the aspect grid. Moon in Virgo, and is the ascendant in Scorpio? It is, and the sun is in um Taurus. Mercury retrograde natal, Venus in Aries, Mars. Oh yeah, that Mars Neptune conjunction. Nice. And you were born in 2003. Damn, girl. That is interesting. That's a big one. I haven't seen that a good amount lately, actually. Um, so Moon square Saturn, Moon square Pluto. Sun is what do you got? Yeah, a conjunction with that. Okay. Get some squares with Neptune with the Mercury. Okay. Mars is opposite. Yeah, it's conjunct. Yeah, it's conjunct Neptune. Okay, and then the nodes square with Uranus. Interesting. Just Uranus. And trine at the moon and conjunction with the sun. Hmm. Well, right off the bat, I just want to say that you probably have some very karmic relationships with your parents. That's just right off the bat. Actually, let me rearrange my computer first. Actually, no, I'm fine like this. Actually, let me go ahead and do that right now. Here, unplug this. Let's put it down here. This will be better. Yeah, it's better. Wait, but then just totally unplug everything. It's still presenting? Hold on. Back on the camera. Okay, now share screen. Okay, so, okay, now we're good. Now we good. Now we good. Now we good. So, basically, like, like what um, I see a lot of stuff with your chart. So this is gonna, actually, I never fucking know. Like, I'm always like, this is gonna be an easy chart, and then it ends up being the hardest. I'm like, this is gonna be a difficult chart, and then it's like when I say easy, I mean like just like I feel like I solved the puzzle with these. I always solve the puzzle. That's just who I am. If I don't solve the puzzle, I will delete the reading. If I feel like I didn't solve the cosmic puzzle that each chart has, I will literally delete a fucking whole reading because like I like didn't do my duty. Um, so yeah. So I guess first question is like, so I want to know about the nodes. I see you have 0 degrees. So Gemini north node, south node. Okay, I just fucking had this. Exact same nodal configuration. So South Node and Sag. Okay. So we're trying to move towards Gemini. Okay. So let's start with like the sun and the moon. And the ascendant. So Scorpio rising, ruled by Mars in Aquarius, which is exactly conjunct. It's like very close to my Mars and my Venus, which are like um actually it's like right on it's 1 degree from my Venus, but Mars at 6 degrees aqua. So yeah, basically, you'll be someone who is every Scorpio rising kind of has that kind of thing, that je ne sais quoi, je ne sais quoi. Where it's like they can walk into a room and they just have this like presence. And yeah, like it's very, very strong energy. Um, and some people be like, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest? Some people can just be jealous, you know? Some people can just be a little bit jealous about it. Um, and feel threatened by the Scorpio rising individual. Now, Scorpio risings, they're very analytical. They like to kind of it's a nice Scorpio placement. Because at least it's not the fucking moon. The moon is where in my opinion it can get very problematic because yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, your moon sign is also can also be very difficult in Virgo, right? Because being a Virgo moon, um, it can kind of create this like over analytical energy, if that makes sense. And when you have that, you tend to look at emotions. There can be a tendency to look at emotions like not trusting them, right? Like not trusting the emotions, which can be very difficult. And preferring logic over emotions. Um, Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Sorry, it's kind of important message. I had to like just look at it. I'm not answering it. I'm just telling them like I'm not telling them. I'm just trying to like shut this shit down. Okay. Where's the charger? Okay, yeah. So with the Virgo moon, that's like you saw my post probably the other day about like or yesterday actually about like how perfectionism can show up, like perfectionism, like nothing is ever that I do is ever good enough, being like hypercritical of yourself and hypercritical of other people. Virgo moons, they can really have that, right? A lot of times it comes from like a mother that was I guess a little bit distant, a little bit cool. Maybe there was like where are you from? Okay, Cali. So yeah, maybe there's like kind of like a attitude in the family, or you're born in 2003, so you're youngin. But like like there could there could have been like an attitude in the family of like achievement, very, very, very achievement oriented potentially, right? Where it's like you feel like you have to like reach these crazy high standards to like feel valuable, right? That's a lot of times what happens. But the moon in Virgo, right? So the moon represents like your emotional, like where it's like your emotional home within yourself. It's like what makes you feel happy. It's what makes you feel grounded. Um, and to have it in, what makes you feel safe and happy. So to have it where it's at in Virgo, Virgo moons tend to, they have a great need for order in their lives, right? They don't like things disorganized. With that said, it's still, it's a very mysterious sign that can be very, very kind of like earth, like I always call it like earth magic, because it's the opposite sign of Pisces, which is like obviously like the mystical cosmic mystical sign, the last sign. So Virgo has a connection to Pisces where it's like sometimes Virgos act more like Pisces and Pisces act more like Virgos. I can like literally me and my podcast slash best friend Trey, he's a Virgo and Pisces, and then sometimes I act way more um Pisces than him, or Virgo than him, and vice versa. But yeah, so that's kind of like the thing. Also, like a lot of Virgo moons are very like there's a lot there's like they can be very like prone to anxiety disorders. Disorders or just anxiety in general, because their emotions, like they're big time overthinkers, right? They overthink everything a lot, not all of them, but like a lot of times when they're younger, they are just overthinking things too much. And they, with your Mercury square, what was it? It was Mercury square Neptune. Yeah, there can be a real distortion. So this is like a connection I'm making already. There can be a real distortion between your actual reality, like what someone is actually thinking. Let's say it's like a partner, like a potential partner. Let's say that they're thinking something about you, right? Or they even say something to you, right? Like you really need to like reality check, which is the whole idea. And I'm a psychotherapist as well, so I always like, we'll throw in these types of words in terms, but basically it's the idea of let's say like you'll have a skewed perception of reality. um and my girlfriend literally fucking has this, so like I experience it every fucking day, and it can just be really, really annoying because like I'll say something and she'll just hear it wrong, like I made like a cat litter schedule, and I wrote like, it was completely fair, and I wrote like you do Monday slash Tuesday. I think I added, if like, I don't know if I added parentheses, but I just wrote slash Tuesday, right? And she took that, because I like what I meant was obviously fucking like, like whichever day it's needed, but she took it as like me trying to like get her to do it like more days than me. And I was just like, yo, like what the fuck? But I guess a slash in Romania means something different than it does in the whole rest of the world, apparently. Or at least countries I know. But yeah. So like also it's just like, so there's a big need. Reality testing is like asking, let's say like a therapist, a more a more grounded person, like, hey, or even the person itself, like, hey, like this is how, like this is how like I understood what you said, like is that really what you meant? That's reality testing. And just like really like kind of the first step is the awareness that you have like this perception thing, because it's not a bad thing. It can create like people who like are legit magicians, like can be tricksters, it can create all kinds of like really, really good for occult, for esoteric, for having a very spiritual mind. But it can be difficult when it comes to like relationships. It can make you like a master understanding like very abstract big picture concepts, but difficulty with like the mundane. But with that said, the fact that you are a Virgo moon, Virgo is all about the mundane. So that's going to help that one out a lot, and it's going to make that aspect less difficult than if you had like a moon like Pisces or Sagittarius. Um, so having like a double Earth, right? Taurus Sun, so that's very like good, because I mean it just creates like a smooth flow of energy to have Sun trine Moon. It's very, very personable. It is a very well integrated personality, very adaptable to others. Usually it speaks of a very harmonious early home life, and very good for like career, jobs, and just popularity in general. It's usually the parents are still together and have like a good relationship. It's just a good one, you know. And you tend to have like kind of like a like you're headed in one direction. And then even with that said, your moon sextiles your ascendant by exact degree. So like that is awesome, because what that means is that like there's a very like there's like people kind of it's not like as strong as a conjunction, but like what people see is what they get with you. Even though you're Scorpio rising, like the fact that it's exactly sextile, which is a 60-degree angle between your ascendant, which is your personality, how you appear, and all that, and your moon. It means that like there's no massive surprises when people get to know you. You know what I mean? Like people, like sometimes people have moons that are like so fucking off, like what like their ascendants are, and people get to know them, and they're like, fuck, like you came off this way at first, but you're so different the more like now that I know you. So that pushes that away. Yeah. And okay, what else? So yeah, being a Taurus, I don't really get into sun signs adjusting and astro. I mean, like, come on. I mean, I will. I'll talk. I talk about like the parts that are important about it. I'm not going to list you the fucking traits of a Taurus, the balance. Look, Taurus is like this. On a highest vibe, it's about heaven on earth, and it's about finding internal. Like, I believe we all. I'm a karmic astrologer, so my belief is that we incarnate and we have, we have. Sorry, I got distracted. My cat wants to play ball with her. Fetch. We have a game. I have a bunch of cat dogs. Mika, bring me the ball over here if you want me to throw it. Don't be don't be around the bush. Mika, I know you think you're so smart. You are smart. She plays with herself. I have a staircase, and my cats, all three of them they each have like a favorite toy. Well, actually two of them do. And they'll bring me them at random times and just have me throw it down the stairs, and they sprint and go get it and bring it back like a golden retriever or like a retriever dog. It's so cute, and it's really good exercise for them. But yeah, anyways, so as I was saying, um, yeah, with Taurus, it's like there's a big a big need to take risks, and to not be too stuck in the material world and the comfort zone. That's like kind of the risk of having so much Earth, is that you get too stuck in the mundane, and even though Virgo, like I said, is a very misunderstood sign, and it really relates a lot to like this kind of earthy type of magic. Like I'm talking like alchemy, like working like with plants and like witch, like full moon, that kind of ceremonial stuff, right? And it is, conjunct like I think is it conjunct the nebula? It's conjunct. I forget. I think it's close to the nebula, but basically like it's at a point of Virgo where I need to double check. We'll see it later, but like that definitely gives a certain spiritual kind of alignment and focus. But yeah, with that said, the Taur, the moon's in the 11th, the Taurus sun's in the 7th. So, that on its own, it basically just means that relationships, are very, very important to you, like kind of very close, like romantic relationships. It could even be like what I started saying, like BFF relationships, or business partnerships, like those really, really, even this kind of relationship, like a very close one-on-one relationship, like you like that's like where a big part of your life focus is. You have to watch out for like codependency, like where you rely too much on those for your kind of purpose. um and yeah, let's see, descendants, where are you at? But like also in Placidus, your sun would be in the sixth house, which would be very linked to the Virgo, you know. And that would kind of like be like a double kind of take of Virgo energy, like need to kind of have things in order, and to to be of service, which you have regardless, to be of service and to have your life very, very, very organized and what else? Yeah, so like Virgo moons are like quite particular and they have like a system that they employ with whatever they do, and they really don't they can get very, very cranky if people try to fuck with their system, let's just call it that. So don't fuck with the Virgo's system. That aside, Moon the 11th, and instead of the 7th, yeah, so like I said that. Moon the 11th, it's about how, your career, because it's like, it's like kind of like 10th, Placidus 11th, and for at least for Moon and Sun, I'm always gonna give the Placidus and the whole sign. Like for Placidus, 10th house, it would be 10th house Moon probably, right? Yeah. So it's more about like just like a huge like needing like a huge emotional attachment to your career. um, and in pole sign, it's more around how do you say this? It's more around like humanitarianism, like really like big, big, big picture goals are really important to you. Like like goals that take like a lifetime to kind of complete. Um, and mm, yeah, it just makes it so you have like a really close like emotional need to have like it's ruled by Mercury in the 7th house, like a really, really, really close relationships with friends. Like friends play a massive, massive role. Friends slash like groups, like organizations, like groups that you identify with on that level, like those are massive, 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 massive. So yeah, extremely important you know, to be locked down in groups that you are comfortable in, excuse me. And yeah, like I think like when I think of those two together, I just think of like you having like a real emotional need to be of service to humanity in this lifetime, and really wanting to make the world a better place, and feeling like a sense of like standing up for the people who are less privileged, and just justice in general. So you definitely could be someone who is working with clients in some type of way. That Mars conjunct Neptune in Aquarius, that's a very like kind of genius type energy. Like it's someone, especially, well, it's in the 4th actually, but yeah, it just creates someone who it'd be the third, it'd be in the 3rd in Placidus. So like it would just give like a very like brilliant mind, 100%, that really has the ability to think outside the box, but at the same time they can be kind of blocked by their own delusions. So if they can get past those, um, there's endless potential. But if they can't, they can get trapped, if you understand what I'm saying. Um, yeah, there can definitely be with this conjunction high artistic gifts as well. And really, really good sense of like design, and very, very passionate, very romantic. And in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius, like I have it too. It's kind of like one of those points in astrology that's kind of like it's when I say genius, I mean someone who thinks outside the box, and who but not only thinks outside the box, right? Who acts outside the box. So spirituality, and you might have like a very eccentric, like kind of very individualistic kind of form of spirituality, right? That you call your own spirituality. Um, and that's okay. That's awesome. That's like what the chart says. Um, but yeah, like it's important to, I guess, I guess yeah, it's important to be grounded in something spiritual. That's what I'll say. Like it's very it's a need for you to be grounded in something spiritual, and to have that thing not be like, for example, like a traditional path. Like you have to watch out for like schemers and people who like sell the world to you, like this is how it is, follow me, give me this much money. Like you have to really use that intuition and kind of block that out. But yeah, going back to kind of what I started hinting at earlier, of like, why are you Taurus? Well, Taurus is all about balance, right? And you're really trying to find that in this lifetime. You're really trying to find balance within yourself. Um, but like with what I was saying before, right? About like how, Taurus is like, you have Mercury retrograde. So, um, and then Black Moon Lilith in Taurus itself. I was saying how a lot of Tauruses can have this tendency to not want to take risks, and that's totally in line with what I see there, right? Like that's like Black Moon Lilith and Taurus in the seventh house. First of all, you have to watch out because Black Moon Lilith also, I just found out recently, relates to like where people can be jealous. So if you have like a very like, everything looks nice on, like, don't like be posting like pics of like, if you're in a relationship, of your relationship on like the gram or just in general, like people can be jealous of that part of your life. um and yeah, just overall, like the whole thing about risks, like it's kind of just saying like that you as a Taurus like might fall victim to that, to that like unwillingness to kind of dive into risks and whatnot. So yeah, it's really important to learn surrender, to learn to let go, and all these types of things. Um, And then Mercury retrograde natally. So, okay, that's very interesting in Taurus, because what happens there is that it means that in a past life that you have your South Node in Sag. So obviously, there's either an overthinking or an underthinking, or an overspeaking or underspeaking. And in this life, you're pushed into a karmic position of kind of looking more inside yourself and being more like internal with your thought process. A lot of times people who have nail Mercury retrograde can be very misunderstood, especially when they're like kind of coming up in the world, like or not coming up in the world, coming up like in their early education system. Like they can be misdiagnosed with things. They can be looked at like as like, like they're like stupid when they're not at all. Like some of the best, they're just usually more right brained. So finding like a creative outlet is extremely important, because especially as a kid, or at any age, and putting time in that, because that will give the self-esteem needed, right? Because a lot of times people with Mercury retrograde have trouble, with just like random like standardized stuff. It isn't Taurus, which is like, a good Mercury sign for like school and stuff like that, and it's very logical mind. But in retrograde, there can be that kind of like over analysis and over logic, like kind of like logic. I can't say the word. Logic, logification, logification. I think. Um. So yeah, gotta watch out for that. Um. A trippy thing about Mercury retrograde that I find very trippy, and I call it trippy twice, so it's trippy, is that a lot of times people who have that, especially with like people that they're like closely, like my brother has it, right? And people that they're closely karmically connected to, they'll tend to like speak to the past life version of that person. Is that crazy? So like, let's say like you have like, your Chiron's in the third house. So maybe you have a difficult relationship with a sibling. It's highly possible. Or maybe it just speaks to like, it's most likely speaking to like your early like developmental period, like early schooling years. Maybe you got bullied, or maybe something, you know, because you like a lot of Mercury retrograde people have this type of signature where it's like the Chiron is connected to the Mercury retrograde because they experience pain around, you know, thinking differently and and yeah, just like not being able to like understand what it was, and then internalizing that as shame and like I'm not smart enough, and it's very sad that astrology isn't used as it should be. That's a whole different story. So yeah, in essence though, there is a genius energy in the chart. Like I said, Mars, you know, in that position, I'll go back to what I was saying before. Mars, you know, conjunct Neptune means that like when you really can sit and ground, like you can like get completely connected to like universal forces, like to like out of this universe force, out of this universe types of forces, which is fucking incredible, right? Um, but the point is, or the main task is like, can you silence that Virgo moon? And you have a follow up, I think, right? Or maybe wait, no, I'm not sure if you do. If you don't have a follow up, I highly suggest you get one. I will give you one for a discounted price, and I also highly suggest that you get a follow up and current astrology reading and do them both together. And like basically, I'll tell you that now. I can't remember if you have a follow up or not. It's on my notes, but basically like, you know, the reading, we talk about everything, we go over everything. The follow up though is where we're able to really speak in detail and compare your lived experience with everything I said. It just adds a whole new layer to the reading. um Not everyone feels the need to it, and I'm not like an astrologer that's like a business. Of course, like, you know, it is my business, but like I'm not an astrologer that is like trying to nickel and dime people. So like I'm not saying it from that perspective. I'm just saying that everyone who's done these two readings together, you do the follow up first. It's an hour. It's usually 150, right? I'll tell you, like, basically these two combined usually are 400, and that's my sale price. It lasts around 3 hours, but I am happy to do it for so for like 110 instead of 150, and for 210 instead of 250. So it would be for 320 for the two. And fuck that, I'll just move down to 310. 310 for both. So the current astrology reading is all about, it's literally, so the first hour is the follow up, or would be if you're interested, and we just dive into kind of, yeah, kind of like every like just the chart what I just said. And then after that, um, the current astrology is completely different. You know, you get your birth chart done once. It's like the book of your life, if you want to think about it like that. The current astrology is like this current chapter, right? So like you could have a transit, right? Let's say your sun was at 0 Aquarius. Well, you're about to if that was the case, you would be about to transit Pluto is about to be conjunct your fucking sun, or like 0 Leo would be even more difficult, right? You know, Pluto's going to oppose your sun, or 0 Scorpio. It's going to square. Oh shit, my girlfriend is 0 Scorpio, so Mercury, so her Pluto's going to square her Mercury. Fuck. Oh my god, I know you're laughing right now. I kind of am too. I have, but I'm also kind of like, fuck. Oh god, I need to tell her about that. Woo! Fuck. I mean, it could be good, but fuck. Okay, I just got scared. Scary person. She's Scorpio, Aries, Moon. Um, but yeah, so like the current astrology is basically like me going through all these different predictive astrology, and it's a live convo. I don't share it. I send it to you after, but I don't share it, obviously, because we're zooming live. Zoom, and yeah, basically it gives you like I tell people that they should get that done once a year, and basically it gives you the energy, what to expect. It's like the astrological weather. You know, this reading, you get this done once. That one, I recommend every year. Do it. Um, and yeah, I highly, highly suggest it. So let me know if you're interested. And if you're interested in just the follow up, just let me know. I'd be happy to do that one for one instead of 150. I do it for 120 for just the follow up. But you have to remind me of this. Well, I'll remember actually. maybe. I'll remember. 120 through 10. Yeah. That's kind of what yeah. So anyways, back to the reading. Let me know if you're interested in that, how that is just, but yeah, everyone has their own you know, their own situation financially and just in general. But anyways, as I was saying, like yeah, there's definitely like I feel like you're like a hidden like I don't want to call you a genius because I don't know you, but like you probably like thought very differently. Like Mars and Aquarius, like they just don't give a fuck. Like they just like move through life in a way like it's really hard to understand like what makes the Mars and Aquarius tick. But like the point, the thing that for sure is true is that they care a fuck ton about people, and they're very social. They can be a little bit like eccentric and different, and Neptune will add to that. But they can also receive downloads, and like they just go towards the eccentric, and they're attracted to that too. So your Venus, being in Aries, it will make you kind of have like a more even as a female, right? Maybe more of like a masculine approach when it comes to like, let's say like most people, I know a lot of people that have that placement, like they are the go-getters in love. They're the people that go towards, the partner that they're interested in, even if they're a female. Um, and it makes you really like partners who also and like value kind of like very pioneering, kind of like independent, strong types of individuals. Um, and you have to watch out for like spending habits, like impulsive spending. And yeah, it's in the sixth house. So like you could be someone who like falls in love with someone at your job. It's also like very, very good for health in general. So it's a great indicator for just health and having a healthy, good routine, which is so important to your Virgo moon. So yeah, it's looking good. It's a good looking one. It's a good looking one. Um, hmm. So now I'm seeing some other stuff. Um, Moon in Virgo, square Saturn, square Pluto. Where should I start? So Moon square Saturn, which is in you have a T square. You see? 27. I mean, it's a loose T square, but it's still a T square. Basically, your moon's getting squared by both Saturn and Pluto, one on each side. One from Sag, one from Gemini. So that's a big time money one because it's in the houses of money and your north node. So like a big part of your life is around like karmically about money. Money is very important to you in the sense of like or like value, like how do you value money? What's your relationship with money, right? Because Pluto there in the second house. I'll go through these before I go into the squares. How about that? People who have that have a very, very interesting relationship with money. I might as well just like go back to my face for a little bit or to my face for a little bit. Um, here I am, here I am, here I am. So yeah, people who have Pluto in the second, like they tend to have past life memories where they were in fucking survival mode, right? Like legit. So when you're in survival mode, think of a homeless person. Do you think they have the time to develop spiritually? So it can create workaholics. It can create people who just like they just they're always fearing, that they're gonna lose everything, even if they're like extremely successful. And eighth house Saturn, it's kind of similar because the eighth house is about, money too. So there can be like a fear of like joint enterprises. There can be fear on a romantic level, fear of like being overwhelmed by intimacy, sexual expression being like restricted. And the good thing about, and this is kind of getting off topic of what I was saying, like about eighth house Saturn, is that when your Saturn return hits, which is going to be a minute, you're young, that's when a lot, and you don't have to wait for that, by the way. Nothing in astrology, like free will runs everything. The fact that you're getting this reading from me at 2003, I'm impressed by you. You know, like I'm extremely like when I see a client, is my face fucking showing? Fucking camera. Like when I see a client who's got a birthday of 2003, I am so fucking happy for them. And I want to give them the best dream possible. I want to give everyone the best dream possible. So yeah, basically like Saturn eighth house, you gotta watch out for yeah, there can be definitely fears of intimacy, fears of combining with others, like in terms of like business and stuff like that. You have to watch out for like anything legal, like any kind of legal paperwork, like any signatures, signing signatures, signing signatures, like anything you sign, like debt. Really be careful. Debt, anything legal, like be very, very careful. But yeah, like the Pluto, it's really about kind of just like, yeah, how you need to like learn to like find within yourself this like these values and this like this strength and this like this whole energy of this whole like these inner resources. You need to find these like inner resources that you can always rely on in times of stress, no matter what. You've got this shit. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like people like because like sometimes people with Pluto second house, like they are fucking go-getters. Don't get me wrong. They go get that fucking moolah. But like at the same time, what the fuck did I just say? They go get that shit, but sometimes they go too hard. I'm being very dramatic right now, but it's true. Sometimes they go so hard that they break their back, metaphorically and physically even. And there's such a fear. And with Saturn, there can be a fear of losing it all and spending. So this is what I'm getting to. I'm not showing you your chart right now, but you've seen it enough. Moon, square, tension, Saturn. Moon, square, Pluto. The shooting out, I'm gonna show you because you have to visually see this part. So check this out. So you see how it's not an exact T-square, but you see how moon it's like a bow and arrow, right? It's like this is the bow or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's a triangle. It's a T-square. It shoots out at 24 Pisces. So wherever 24 Pisces is in your chart is the resolution point of the T-square. It's in the fifth house. Pisces. Fifth house Pisces is Leo and Pisces. That's what I am. So Moon square Pluto is one of the most difficult, and I'll go back to my face now for a little bit. It's one of the most difficult transits or aspects, excuse me, in all of astrology. It's very, very difficult. This is really shitty lighting, but is my lighting just off? It's better when I had it over there. Hold on, let me switch some shit up. Get some nicer looking background type energy vibes. It's a little dark. What the fuck? Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? Actually, I care. That help at all? Do you really have to stand up and turn on that light? Okay, fine. I'm imagining your inner dialogue right now is like this guy is like I'm born in 2003, he's born in 1990, and he's literally like more of a fucking kid than I am. I know. I know. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. The forever kid. God damn it. Fucking light. Plug the fuck in. You fucking Shit, fuck. Okay, I nearly just electrocuted myself. That light just gave me nearly just gave me instant karma. I'm not even lying. That was kind of fucked up. Okay, back at it. So this is sexier. You see my face with my red eyes. Even though I went on a fucking 90-minute run today. Just haven't been sleeping enough. Whatever. Enough, Jesse. Okay, so let's talk business. Um, so yeah, Moon square Pluto is like basically a lot of times there's like an over interfering mother. Um, there's the themes around Moon and Pluto square is like the mother and Saturn like combined. It's like the mother was like probably cold and distant, also maybe like overly interfering. Like it's like fucking crazy shit, like definitely like a very like weird relationship with at least one of the parents. But the weirdest part of it all is that it's trying the South Node. So it's kind of saying that like you have a positive karmic relationship with this person. I don't fucking get it, but this is a weird one because it's like in a different sign. So like you really trust like the actual square, and then you have that exact yeah. I don't know about that, but the real square you have with your nodes is with Uranus, which is very interesting because it's on your IC, so it's fucking crazy. That is past life trauma. That's what I have. Mine's Pluto though. Mine's worse, but wow. Damn. Okay, we'll talk about that. Anyways, okay, so with Moon square Pluto, basically you have it gives a very intense emotional life. Like that's what it is. Like it's like up and down behavior like patterns in your mind. And because you're a Virgo, I'm getting up, I'm still with you. Because you are a Virgo moon, I told you, like, and I really, really hope you get at least a follow-up. Please do that for me. Even if it has to be like just be honest with me. Like, don't be dishonest with me. Be honest with me about like I know you're younger. I realize that as I said that. So your financial situation might not be like, where some of my other older clients are. Just, be honest. Like I want to do one with you. Um, just tell me like, it's usually 150. Um, I know I said 120. Like I'll do 110. Fuck it. I'll do, like just like communicate with me, like it's about honor, but I really like feel like, especially with my younger clients, like I want to talk to them, because I feel like that is an important conversation, and I feel like there's a lot in your life that with these aspects that's important. So just talk to me, be honest, and like I'll tell you what's up. I'll be honest too. Um, as regards price and stuff with the follow up, like maybe you saved up for this fucking reading and you're working a hard ass job. I don't know, and I don't want to be that fucking guy. But like, fuck, the follow up for young people is like it's like I need to fucking do it. But yeah, it can also be later, whatever. We'll talk about it anyways. But yeah, so Moon and Pluto basically you have to really like it's learning to let go and learning to this is huge, huge. Learning to disattach from your mother because you will inherit shit, emotional baggage that is not yours. It's hers. I'm thinking it's your mother, but usually it's the mother, the least dominant parent. Typically it's the mother, right? Um, I'm not saying she doesn't love you. I don't think that at all. In fact, like people just can't really help themselves sometimes. When they haven't resolved shit. I'm gonna take a chewing tobacco. I'm just telling you because I'm a transparent fucking guy. A sexy kind though, the Swedish kind, not the American fucking shit chew that fucking is gross as fuck. I keep it Swedish and classy and sexy. That'd be a cool song. No one. Um, yeah, definitely. Let me think for a second. Yeah, it's actually kind of dope. It's like a joke song. Way too deeply about this. Yeah, so that's kind of what it is. Like thinking too deeply. That's Virgo moon. Like overthinking shit. And okay, look at the connections I'm making right now. Virgo Moon. Go look at my post on perfectionism. Perfect timing. I posted it yesterday. Virgo Moon. Let me bust that shit open, actually. I kind of like having younger clients more. Because I feel like I'm like a young, a younger, young. I feel like I could like be myself more. Fuck, I cooked them alive. God damn it. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? Hold on. I have to check something super, super fucking important. Okay, whatever. Anyways, what else? Okay, here it is. So, okay. So, Virgo Moon. This one is extremely obvious. You will see a ton of Virgos on this list. Virgo on this list of perfectionism. Virgo Moon people feel comfortable when everything is set in a specific manner. They tend to have their own system of how things are to get done. I put it up here. It's supposed to be down here. You probably think I'm like high or some shit right now. I'm not, I swear, this is me. Um, okay, where the fuck? Okay, Virgo Moon people feel comfortable when everything is set in a specific manner. They tend to have their own system of how things are to get done and get very annoyed if someone tries to budge in. Virgo is very analytical and physically observant. Also, that's why I love Virgo clients because I feel like I can just talk as fast as blah, 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 and they will make notes and they will fucking like get everything down. They will analyze it. And this is when you're fucking like that analytical energy comes in. And one thing about the Mercury retrograde before I fucking go further, it gets easier with time. Awareness is the first step to overcoming anything difficult. Remember that. And nothing in your chart, biggest words I'm saying all day, nothing in your chart is meant to be something that just fucks with you, right? It's all meant to be overcome. God, this background looks so fucking much better than what I had before in the darkness. So it's also ruled by Mercury, which can make it prone to overanalyzing and trusting logic and facts over emotions. So it's about diving into your emotions, which are not words, they're not analyzed, they're not logic, like they are feelings. Make yourself cry. I love saying that. I said for the first time yesterday. No, but really, make yourself cry. Make yourself journal about sad shit. Get in touch with that Uranus on the IC, which is square your nose, which speaks about like, you know, some trauma probably in the childhood, and maybe not, because I like it speaks about like how your childhood was probably very like maybe you moved around a lot. Maybe there wasn't trauma in this childhood, but maybe there was just like some level of instability, you know, especially with what we're seeing here. But it's square the nodes. So it means that like a lot that you brought on trauma from past life. And I had the same thing with Pluto. So I feel extra connected. Spitting. I know. It's fucking really, really, really awesome. I do that, right? By the way, I am not addicted. I mean, I am right now, but like I made a conscious choice and I can quit this shit whenever I want. I literally like was just like, I'm just gonna buy some chewing tobacco at the mall. I just saw, I was like, this looks good. I'm gonna do it. And it's been about a month and a half. Beautiful journey. Beautiful journey. Um, although it got me to like kind of stop drinking coffee. I haven't been drinking coffee lately. Of course, I buy like an expensive ass machine and I can stop. When it gets colder, I'll drink more coffee. But it has a really like tough effect on me, coffee. It's better as a rare occasion thing, I think. But of course, I bought like a million fucking like Nespresso boxes, like a really nice machine. And I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'm not drinking. Okay, whatever. Okay. So They can be their own worst enemy, right? And see others as better than them. I paused there on purpose. They can see others as better than them, when in reality, it's often the opposite. Imagine a girl who earned 96% on her test, but had missed 4%. All she can think of is that 4%. She then has to give a speech for class, and she has all types of feelings of shame and imposter syndrome, and feels like other people who really scored in like the 70s are better. What's that syndrome called? Forget. I should know. With that said, so many of the most successful people in the world have this moon sign. It depends so much on the aspect. A prime example is Elon Musk. But ironically, he doesn't have to worry about perfectionism much because he is pretty close to perfect when it comes to human intelligence. Lol. Learn self-compassion and be easy on yourself. The last sentence was the most important sentence, I think, because learn to laugh at your failures. When you like, meditation is the best thing for Virgo moons, because when you get into meditation, and like, this is what I'm telling every Virgo moon. I've been getting a lot of them lately. Like, sit, have a paper in front of you. Say, I don't know, if you're a beginner meditator or if you're advanced, whatever, just like set a time, make sure that you, no matter what, you meditate for that much time. See your self-talk, journal it day by day. What am I telling myself? What are the messages, the unconscious messages I'm telling myself, right? And you'll learn so much about how to treat yourself better through that process. Okay, what else do we have on this list? Where's Saturn? No. Um, I guess that's kind of it. But yeah, I would add, yeah, the Mercury retrograde. Yeah, it just makes one like an overthinker, and in the especially yeah, so there's a big need to kind of like, to really like yeah, like use communication, like use writing, yeah, or some form of communication. Like with Neptune, the best thing to do, actually, like one of the healing things, is film yourself. Like literally film yourself on your phone. Like do like, this is my vlog and whatever, or write. But like filming is and mirrors, they're ruled by Neptune, and just fucking like talk. Don't show it to anyone. You don't have to post it. If you want to, you can. And literally you can like just do like a daily like Leanna vlog. And that is like literally healing for Neptune. I just said literally way too many fucking times in a row. Um, so yeah, the Pluto one is really rough. You can there can be like obsession in relationships, like forming really really close bonds where it's like really too intense, too fast. There can be like lots of self-sabotaging in relationships because the feelings are so intense. And it really, the inner pain comes from like the home and family, but it can be projected onto relationships easily. It's like overly obsessive or interfering mother a lot of times. There's lots of like ancestral stuff too that you're dealing with. So once again, you're one of my clients. I get so many of these, like literally, like it's been like everyone lately, which is crazy, who I feel is that person who's meant to break something ancestral, this fucking cycle, toxic cycle in their family that's been passed on from generation to generation. So imagine this. Imagine if you overcame that and you stopped a 40-year generational cycle and trend in your family, and you were the one that stopped it. Crazy shit. And then every 50 generations after benefited from your work. If that's not power, if that's not fucking like change, I don't know what the fuck is. Um, power is another thing I have to talk about. People who have this sometimes feel powerless, and they go through like this whole like thing about like they need to learn to not like push their power too hard. There can also be lots of jealousy and unpleasant changes that come up. But really the whole point of it is that it's pushing you into your like your debt, like into your darker side, which is why you've come to me so early in your life, because you have a higher karmic impetus, or a higher karmic, like a high karmic, like not value, but like path, like you have a huge important lifetime. So that's why you're pushed in the underworld early in your life. You learn about like the darker side of human reality. A lot of times people who have this, like they tend to like until they learn to value themselves and love themselves, they tend to, which with Virgo Moon can be difficult because there's that constant like overly criticizing themselves, which then goes like to the partner. Like and the it gets like kind of projected on the partner. So there's a big need to yeah, to kind of like go deep into the death rebirth transformation. Okay, the cat drinking water. I was just making sure he was accepting my water. Cat drinking water is probably my favorite thing in the world. Let's just like give a little catching. All Virgos. Oh, there's something inside the water. This is pure art. I should hear the noise. You're not gonna get that many. God. Sorry, FedEx. How many astrologers are gonna give you fucking cat drinking water cams? You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah. Just like have a sense of humor about shit, you know? Life's a joke. It's not a joke, but like, you know, think of it like that. And when you become like consciously aware with like the power dynamics and like sometimes people like I said, like try to be like overpower other people who have this aspect. You find that power within yourself. That's when you start to love yourself more. That's when you start to value yourself. That's when you start to share the gift and you start to have really powerful relationships with yourself and with other people. But yeah, there's that compulsive. There's lots of compulsive emotional reactions that can be turned into perfectionism. So you really need to learn self-control, and that is like the big key. So then with the Saturn one, let me get into my notes about this one. I mean, I can tell you everything. Moon, before that, like Moon and Saturn, the hard aspect is about depression. You know, a lot of times it's, you know, like the needs, you know, we're not met emotional needs as a kid. It can create someone that has lots of difficulty with vulnerability, as I said earlier, like with forming close emotional bonds. There can be social awkwardness, loneliness, you know, melancholy, and but this one really depends a lot on the childhood, right? So like the more like unhappy and unconfident all that you felt as a kid, which I've seen in your chart, is probably you probably felt misunderstood. um you know, that can lead to like lots of depression or like feelings of rejection, stuff like that. um Feeling like abandoned, unlovable, all that stuff. So like, yeah, if there was like an emotional distance from parents, like it's a problem, you know. Whether it's like a real or imagined lack of support, it can really like play out in like the rest of your life. But you know, like if the parents like were the opposite, self-respect replaces like the destructive behaviors. So yeah, like it's really important with this to like push yourself to be with groups, right? To be with groups, which your moon is in the 11th house. To be with groups, whether it's like structured group activities, like I don't know, on a sports team or in some kind of club, whatever. Like finding groups that like you really connect with. Which, if we have a follow up, I might be able to talk to you about something about that, but it's very top secret. Um, but yeah, like it can really make someone who's very isolated and where it's hard to make friends. And I'll tell you the way to heal all this in a second. Yeah, so it's difficult. Um, difficult. What else can I say about this? Like but the more common effect, yes, no crystals, is just like a challenging childhood, you know, where you have to like really like maybe you have to like play the role like early on, like be the mother to your own mother, something like that. So it's all about another one about self-awareness, right? Um, and there's usually early emotional struggles, but because of that, you have this resiliency, and we get this Saturn return, 29 and a half, 30 years old, but like I said, like it's not ruled by that. Like if you mature before, like you mature before. Um, you know, so many celebrities, so many famous people have Moon square Saturn because it it doesn't inhibit creativity. You know, it does make someone like more private, especially the Pluto one, and more serious, but like it makes someone have this like this real work they're a workhorse. And then like when the more negative energies kind of fade away, they're good. So then after that, the whole T square, right? How it gets resolved, the camera's not pointing in my face. It's through Pisces fifth house, which is about finding a creative outlet, finding oneness with the divine, and just really growing spiritually, basically. And usually through like letting go and having fun, right? Leo and Pisces. That's what I am, right? I'm spiritual, but I also fucking have fun, and I let myself go, and I'm just like whatever, fuck it, you know. So yeah, that's a huge cure. But also like in Placidus, it would be in the fourth house, so it'd be like about like going deep into your childhood. You know, from the Placidus perspective, it would be about like going deep into your inner emotions, which is like also they both make a lot of sense, and really finding the solutions there, and really going deep into the past, and really going deep into your emotions. I can't stress enough that going into your emotions is not done through just talking about them. It's done through like processes. Even if it like I'm not like someone who's like a big psychedelic person, but I have done them. So I don't like giving advice about it because everyone reacts differently. And I never want to be the guy that says go do mushrooms, and then someone has like a bad trip or doesn't react correctly, and then I'm the one to blame. But what I can say is that like at least in my experience, I've done them maybe a few times in my life, like, and I haven't done them in years. It really like that plus just like becoming very spiritual, doing Kundalini yoga, huge. That was if you some a place that you can do Kundalini yoga where you live. Like I swear to God, that stuff like even if you do it and like I haven't done it in years, like it has like a lasting effect. And it's like amazing for people with charts like yours. Like absolutely amazing. So I would highly like Kundalini yoga, like even though like sometimes it can be a little bit cringe. I mean, at least when I was living in fucking Boulder, like the teachers and the classes can be a little bit like the love and light, like perfect kind of spiritual people, but like there is something there. Hmm. Chewing tobacco affairs. Um. So yeah. With that said, just laugh at your shortcomings and have a creative outlet and go into your family shit. Now, also trust that you are I don't want to say the word genius, but you have something other people don't, and that you just need to find the right people. You just need to find the right people that you can really truly connect with and work with. Um, so with that said, we talked about Chiron, Neptune in the fourth, that speaks about like having like kind of like and Mars there, like how there can be like a combative early childhood. But like in the third house in Placidus, it would be more about like just like having like amazing creative talents in writing and anything to do with communication and thinking and yeah, just finding an outlet for that. When you meditate, you probably like get downloads and stuff like that. So it's very, very good. Very good for creativity and thinking outside the box and being like an inventor. In the fourth house in whole signs, it's more about um, just like confusion around like the early childhood, maybe not remembering it, maybe over or under idealizing how it was. So it's important to have like a real assessment of how things really were. Um, I'm spinning every 2 seconds. So yeah, basically like yeah, I talked about that. Like how you like to be like the initiator in relationships. Other stuff with relationships, like with Virgo Moon, people Virgo Moons, they don't want to muck around. They don't want like, yeah, you need to have someone who also like who truly understands you, who's like your rock, like who's like your rock, who understands like some of the complexities that you have, but also, the fact that you have that trine between sun and moon, that's like amazing, and that is like really gonna like help. That's one of the best aspects in all of astrology. So that's gonna help so much of this. It's going to bring you people and help you. And I strongly believe that, your relationships are going to be very, very karmic, the important ones. And with that said, you have Juno, which is like your ideal partner in Scorpio in the first house, which is very interesting because it relates completely to Pluto and saying that like your ideal partner is someone who can really go to those depths and who's also interested in that and really like growing spiritually and going to the death, rebirth, transformation, snake shedding the skin, and who's, you know, mature and also like independent, right? And yeah, like North Node, you know, like that's like the destiny point, like the mountain never climbed and past lives where you're trying to get to. You know, you're really trying to learn self-control in this lifetime, as I've mentioned. Letting go of like ingrained like past life kind of attitudes and really like focusing on spirituality, spiritual values. And then like also like in Gemini, it's like learning to see things through other people's point of view. And really, really becoming good at communicating, which I talked about earlier, right? Um, because it can make someone be like a little bit like scattered. So it's all about like developing like kind of the balancing the higher mind Sag and the lower mind Gemini. Not to say that Gemini is lower than Sag, but like Gemini is like the collection of information. Sagittarius is like the integration of of those two. So combining those two. So traveling could be something that helps you with that. Meeting people from all different walks of life and kind of being like a journalist where you just collect tons of different data and try tons of different things. Um, and just like developing focus where you're able to like communicate your ideas in a way that is positive with your Mercury retrograde. Because Mercury retrograde, it makes you like really, really pensive at the start of your life of like, how do I want to communicate? Like, what is the right way for me to think, and what is the right way for me to communicate? Um, so yeah. Vertex and Cancer, the power of fortune there, you know, basically like the area of like of truth, of finding truth, and of just like yeah, being like a truth seeker and being someone who like really wants to find the real answer is very important. And then also like really like in Cancer, it's like your doorway to higher awareness is through being in touch with your emotions, as I fucking said. This is all Vertex always for me tends to be like that cherry on top that just validates something I've already said. And then part of fortune is also another cherry on top, you know. And these are not planets. These are planetary. These are like they're not planetary. They're not like actual like luminaries. They're points, calculated points. So the part of fortune, it's kind of like your flow state. So Cancer ninth house. So you feel really at ease when you're like going, whether it's traveling physically or metaphorically. And you find lots of joy in those pursuits of finding true truth. And also with Cancer, once again, being in touch with like your family and improving those relationships and improving the karma in that realm. And yeah, like kind of just learning to be yourself. And it all goes back to that you know, that Uranus on the IC square the nodes, which is basically saying that like the skip step in past life was that you were conditioned in a certain way where you weren't able to like be your true self. And you know, IC and Pisces could speak of um kind of having like like yeah, like what I said before, like fogginess, like a level of fogginess and confusion about like the early home life. So like when I say like the parents are still like have a good relationship, I don't really I like this is like a very tricky part of astrology. Like it's tough to tell. Usually the trine between the sun and the moon indicates that, but like the parents can still have a good relationship with themselves while there's still like not good relationships with the kids. You know, the whole idea of like the parents who are in their crazy world and then like the stuff with the kids is bad. But you know, the son, which is the father, is like all very, very positive. I don't see one bad aspect, you know. I see it like a very, very healing relationship. So there's definitely like one parent probably who's where there's a lot of karmic difficulty, and one that most likely the father is more, you know, more chill and laid back and grounding. So with that said, um yeah, you like the more you probe into the deeper issues, the occult, esoteric, the more growth you have. Jupiter, you know, in Leo And also, I didn't talk about how your Mercury squares Mars, so that can like make you kind of impulsive with your speech and like kind of say things and like regret them, and then it's like fuck what I say, fuck. We have so many also Chiron trines, so that's just like showing that you are like meant to be a healer of some sort, whether that's like what you do professionally or just like you know take this out a second. But like when I see that many Chiron, that like it could just relate to like really intense karma with siblings or just like really having to get past like the whole communication thing, the theme we've talked about. But like I think that like in Capricorn that relates to career, so it's like that could speak to like feeling insecure about your place in society, um and finding difficulty like with like finding like what it is that you're meant to do in the outer world. And a lot of times that comes from like a difficult experience with the mother. um but like yeah, a lot of people will be like healers or like teachers or healers or something like that, which I can totally see for you, especially at your age, that you're diving into this at this age. By the way, I offer like astrology classes if you're interested in diving deep. I do one-on-one. They're super affordable packages. I don't know how much longer I can keep them at those prices, but I don't really talk about it that much, so um I kind of just keep them low because I love to teach people. And yeah. Um so then aside from that, yeah, that I like that 10th house Jupiter, because that gives you lots of luck in terms of your career. In Leo, like you'll really want to kind of it's very, very good for like that's a very, very strong point in your chart because it actually helps you kind of be in touch with the inner child, very benevolent, fun loving. So it makes like being around kids is really, really, really powerful for you. Also animals, animals, because like sixth house, Venus, love animals, and even like just earth signs in general like benefit so much and they love animals naturally, but like they can be so healing for you. And your sixth house, sun, and everything is it falls in the sixth house in Placidus. So it's like sixth house is like it's ruled by like healing and animals and stuff like that. So yeah. But also children, like being around children can be really, really beneficial. And just like really like, finding that creative expression is so, so huge. And in the 10th house, it's like whatever house Jupiter's in, it's like you have luck and expansion in that house, in that area of life. So 10th house is career. So your public life um is where you can express your truths, and it's important for you to have a career that where you're able to do that. We're able to like midheaven in Virgo, we're able to like really give back and feel like you're very like useful, right? Where you found your niche. And I think it could have something to do with healing. Um yeah, and Jupiter 10th house, it just means that like when you're headed in your real like correct the real direction that you're meant to be, not based on like ego, based on soul and desire and soul. Um, you can really get like lots of luck from like different people you meet, and um, just have a very, very positive experience in that area of life. Okay, so talk about Black Moon Lilith, how you you can be like kind of like in relationships. You can kind of be like your own worst enemy. There can be like some like self-sabotage, but then in Taurus, like how it can be like stubbornness and like not listening to other people, and just there's like a need to like really like take risks that are like good risks. Okay, let me just run through this really quick. Okay, did that. Also, Venus in Saturn sextile is very, very good, and in Pluto, it means that you like that when that self-love is really learned and truly integrated, that you can have really long-lasting relationships that are super powerful and super, super dynamic, that give you that really like push you forward in life. And it's a really, really, really good. I don't know the name of this aspect pattern. It's a sextile. I'm trying. What's it called? Is it a Hold on, I need to fucking know this. I always forget. 1 sec. No, it's not a fucking kite. No. Yeah, well, yeah. Regardless, yeah, whatever. I can't see because there's too many fucking lines. I probably remember if I could actually see. I guess the Pluto and the Saturn don't really aspect, but it would be a opposition. So it's like an opposition. Hold on. It's an opposition with a trine and a sextile. It's a rectangle, right? I think that's a rectangle. I know I'm stupid. It's not that. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? Okay. Um, you get the point of what it means. So okay, let's look at the stars. See if we see anything else. Stars and asteroids. Or met time-wise. Okay, perfect. So, okay. Thank God. The one of the worst aspects in all of astrology, which is called serpentis, is like just out of orb of your ascendant. If you were born like 10 minutes earlier, you'd have serpentis rising. I mean, no good, but you're just like clear of that one. I mean, you're 2 point, you know, 4, 5 away. And I think they say the orb is like 2.40. So you're out of that one. So okay. It's kind of squeeze in the middle. Nothing there. Okay. So what the fuck does FOMO hot do? Does it do anything with Uranus? It must. Okay, well, yeah. So FOMO hot conjunct Uranus, unstable, wasted talents, unpractical ideas, loses friends, issues potentially with drugs and intoxicants. And you have to watch out for um, like issues with like accidents with electricity, like the one I nearly had, the fucking synchronicity. That I wouldn't worry too much about that one. It's not like super close. It's within it's like 1.5, so it's like not like a very big one, and it's Uranus. If it was Mars or the moon, I would be fucking going crazy about it, but no. Although they talk about angles on here. It is conjunct the IC, but of course there's no fucking information on that anywhere. Yeah, so I wouldn't really think about that one. Okay, so we move on. Okay, so Venus, nothing really there. Sun, And Mercury, nothing really there for now. Although you do have a series very close to your sun, so that makes you like very loving and caring towards your partner and just someone who wants to like nurture other people in general. And like you feel loved and cared for when you're given like a sense of stability from loved ones. And it's like really, really like Taurus like love to have that sensuality, that touch. Okay. I wish I knew more about Selena. Let me check my BFF's page. Why the fuck is it showing me this? Okay, that's who she says. It means you have a protective shield around you, protecting your light always. So in Taurus, she says, I wish she had houses. The exalted expression of your soul can emanate qualities such as patience, being sensuous, being reliable, and treating yourself well. Your ability to see your own self-worth, to remain loyal to those you love, and to respect others by keeping it real / honest is a big part of your overall light that inspires others. Interesting stuff. Um, one more cat cam. Let's see what he's doing. I'll leave the cat cam on for a second while I'm looking something up. Okay, it's not interesting at all. So okay. I've never seen what Beetlejuice does with Saturn. That's interesting to think about. Shrewd, cunning, crafty, dishonest, treacherous to friends, eventful life with many ups and downs, eventual wealth, but little comfort, favorable for domestic matters, or unfavorable for domestic matters. So the stars are kind of fucking you, but good thing it's not that close of a conjunction, and we care more about other planets conjunct, especially with such a chart with so many themes in it. And it's separated by, yeah, it's like over a degree and a half, so it's not going to play a huge role. Okay, nothing there. I can't see. There's so many fucking. Yo, I literally cannot fucking read what this says. It's like all these numbers together. They're all 21. Okay, well, none of these matter. The moon. Okay, so the nebula is a little bit far out. But let's see. 24 Virgo. 24 Virgo. 24. So you have 24 degrees for your ascendant and your moon, which is the degree of Pisces. So that's gonna add like a very empathetic kind of vibe to you. Also, you have all four elements. I didn't tell you that before. So that's very, very, very good. So that is good. Let's see here. So 24, okay, 24 Scorpio, 4, oh, Fortuna conjunct your midheaven. So it's really, really good for fortune and for making a lot of money in your career potentially. But okay, for Virgo, let's start with that. For Virgo, 4 and 24 Virgo, and then 24 Scorpio. 4 and 24 Virgo, and 24 Scorpio. Let's see, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? So with 4 Virgo, there is nothing. 24 Virgo. Okay, here we go. It says Koba Bernices, potential eye problems, suave manner with great personal charm, idle and dissipated, dramatic, a constellation rather than a star, with the main star being Diadem. Fortunate with Moon and Venus. Which, guess what it is? Your Moon. And then it was 24 Scorpio. Agena. Good health, high morals, delusions through love, success with the masses. Okay. Then 11 Aquarius and 11 Aquarius and 20 Taurus. Al Babi. Um, said to give good fortune. Let's Ba Al Al Bali. Let's search that one up. Okay, let's see what it says. Nothing at all. Yeah, good fortune, but you have to watch out for like being persecuted, being like blamed for shit, basically. And like I won't remember any of these fixed stars, like if we do a follow up, just so you know. Like there's no chance. Um okay, lastly was 24 Aries and 20 Taurus. Oh, is that another 24 degree? Yeah, so you have so many 24 degrees, so that's like more Pisces, like more like spiritual energy. That's really, really good. Um, like very, very empathetic, kind of adding a little empathetic touch to that Aries energy. Okay, I don't really. Well, Akamar is a very good star, and it's let's see, 2316. Mm, it's good for success in public life. Yeah, it's good for success. But like I don't know if it's close enough. Let's see with astrology. Let's see what it says. If there's anything with Venus. No. But it's a good degree for your Venus. And then finally 20 Taurus. Rana. Okay, it's right on it. Cool. Love of knowledge, science, much travel, and many changes, positions of authority, potential accidents at sea. So yeah, so many stars. Yeah, and this one's like not even really listed in many places. A fucking YouTube video playing. Okay. I just need to like delete some tabs. Okay. So overall, that's the cosmic download. I hope that you enjoyed. Very, very deep reading. I hope that we can do a follow-up, as I've said, and hopefully even a current astrology. But you will let me know, and there's zero pressure ever. And regardless, I appreciate you for trusting me with this. It's very, very important to understand your astrology, and it's you know, the reason I put these on YouTube is because I know 1000% that they ain't going nowhere. Because my fucking YouTube channel is not getting deleted, unlike a lot of people's. Um, and yeah, I hope that you took a lot from this. I felt very good about this reading. So good that I might even post it, but I'm not going to because I post maybe one in my story like a month, and I posted one like 3 days ago. So 1 second. Trying to think of like anything else I could kind of say. Yeah, so just remember like rewatch as many times as you need to, even throughout the years. Like if like but like I said many times, I'm not gonna say anything about the follow-up, but like yeah, like just seek out information, like continue your journey. You're so young, don't be hard on yourself. Everything is karma. And you got this shit, you got this. You're starting young. You're doing what most people like some people never ever even do in their lives. And most people who actually end up like becoming spiritual, it's like when they're already fucking old as shit, you know? And then they look back on their lives and they regret shit. They're like, fuck, if I only would have known. And then you have people who intuitively, this is my own opinion, you can present them with all of the proof and all of the knowledge, but because they're stubborn and because of their egos, they are not willing to accept astrology. And because it would just mean that they would have to like change their entire worldview that they've spent so much time refining and learning about science and whatever the fuck, Nothing in science. I fucking have 2 masters in psychology. But if we're being honest, on the Bible, the Romanian Bible I randomly have in my hands, a lot of those were more about me buying time. But I don't know why I'm telling you this personal information, but I guess I trust you even without knowing you, just like Virgo people. Taurus people in general. So thank you. I hope you appreciate this, or I hope this finds you well, and talk to you later. Ciao.